Poll conducted by Middle East Polls, Council of Foreign Relations, and the Palestinian Center for Public Opinion. So you know this is going to be biased already, right? Council of Foreign Relations, the Palestinian Center for Public Opinion. It's going to be good. Shows that Arab residents of East Jerusalem, now this East Jerusalem is, you go to the Western Wall, you take the Jerusalem right at the old city, and you cut it. And you say, now everything from this wall all the way east is Palestinian.
And you will not believe how much of Jerusalem that is.
Oh, yeah. It's
all close to all of Jerusalem's sites it is.
Right. It's you get the new part. You get the part that they came in and they built, nice new buildings in the 60s. But you don't get any of the old sites, really. I mean, very few of the old sites would remain. So everything that we're going to do is in the city of Jerusalem, which would be part of Palestine. It would all be gone if President Obama had his way. I shouldn't say that. That's implying that there would be an Israel left. Anyway, everybody is, well, you got to have it. And we've been saying the whole time, Palestinians don't want this. They don't want this. Now, the radicals do, but the average person will not say this on camera, but this is how disingenuous the press is. You go over and talk to them. You go talk to people. If there are no cameras around or microphones around, they'll tell you, please don't, please don't, please no. We don't want to live under Palestinian rule. We know what that's like. New poll says, done by the Council of Foreign Relations and the Palestinian Center for Public Opinion, Arab residents of East Jerusalem may actually prefer to live under Israeli sovereignty rather than a Palestinian state. Conducted in the 19 Arab neighborhoods of East Jerusalem, it included a representative sample of 1,039 people, margin of error 3%. When asked if they preferred to live under a two-state solution, to be a citizen of the Palestinian state with accordant rights, or as a citizen of Israel with its accordant rights, only 30% chose Palestinian citizenship. Hello.
30%.
Hello.
What was the Israeli?
35 for Israeli citizenship and 35 refused to answer. If you refuse to answer, you know what the answer is. Asked about the preferences of most people in your neighborhood.
And this is a Palestinian opinion poll.
Yeah, and Council of Foreign Relations. And whose side do you think they're on? When asked, project out, what do most people in your neighborhood want? 31% estimated a preference for Palestinian citizenship, 39% for Israeli, and 30% declined to answer. So when you're asked, not what you want, but what do others around you want, the number goes up. 39% say, oh, my neighbors would want to live, not me. And 30% refuse to answer. There is good and evil. And the people who know evil the best are the people who are living around evil. They don't want it. They don't want it. They will, already we've told you this, and you won't hear this reported anyplace else. We've told you that they are already, Arabs are buying houses in what will be the Israel, if you go back to the 67 lines. They don't want to be left behind. They do not want to be left behind. They don't want to be left in that darkness. Would you want to live in any country in the Middle East? Stop with your neighbors or your friends' bullcrap of political correctness. Well, who are we to judge? Do you want to live in that squalor? Do you think your wife wants to live like that? You think your daughters want to live like that? No. Nope. Nobody does. Nobody does. So why are we encouraging it? The same reason we're encouraging these riots all around the world. Hey, it's the Arab Spring. Oh, you guys should rise up. Really? Really, Mr. President? That's working out so well, isn't it? Don't miss our trip to Israel, Jerusalem, Restoring Courage. It is on the 24th, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. And the events begin, really, some of them next week. We are live from Israel all next week. And I believe we're hoping that GBTV, the platform, actually comes online sometime next week. We haven't even seen it. I mean, we're seeing what are called wireframes. We're just seeing basic sketches of everything at this point. They are working so hard on the technology. We have partnered with Major League Baseball, and they're the ones that provide all the technology behind us because they're the best in the business. And we're hoping that it will come online in time sometime next week, so you'll be able to actually go on to GBTV. Then the first event is next Sunday, a week from Sunday, and we invite you to watch it. It is The Courage to Love, and it is directed right towards Christians. Make sure you don't miss this. This is going to be an amazing night with some of the biggest leaders of Christianity from all over the world. Make sure you join us for this. And then the next night is The Courage to Remember, and then Restoring Courage. The last one is The Courage to Stand. And that was on a week from next Wednesday. You can find out all the details at glennbeck.com now. Sign up now for GBTV, because here we go. Buckle up. All right, Brenda, you're on the Glenn Beck program.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great.
How's your parents? How's your family?
My parents, they're good as far as I know.
You got any kids?
I have 3.
How are they?
In school.
What's your husband doing? Where is he right now?
At work.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you
What does he do? What does he do for a living?
Okay, stop it. All right, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for all that you do. I really think that you are doing, well, you're trying to save our country, and I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
No problem. The reason I called was because I myself can offer a really firsthand, I guess, look on what it's like to live in the Middle East, because I lived in the Middle East for 2 years between 2006 and 2008. And you don't get any more Western than me. I have blonde hair, blue eyes. And so I stick out like a sore thumb, unless I chose to wear a scarf or something, and I didn't, because then I thought, well, then that makes me look like, I succumb to the religion over there, and I didn't want to do that. But I did, out of respect, I did cover up from the neck down, even when it was 130-some degrees outside. And anyways, it's rough. Any woman that lives in this country under the freedoms that we have lived under for so long, there's no way that they could do this.
Well,
no way.
Look, Rosie O'Donnell and all of her liberal friends, you'll be the first to be killed. You'll be the first to be. They would round Rosie O'Donnell up. Not only is she an outspoken feminist, she's a lesbian. They'll stone her to death. Go over. If you like the Middle East so much, if you think that the Muslim countries that are under Ahmadinejad and everything else, if they're just as bad as Christians, I invite you to go live in a Christian community, as opposed to going over to Iran. You go ahead. You be open and gay and outspoken in both places. Both places. One will kill you, and it's not the Christian community. You're
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They are violent. We saw it every day, or I didn't see it every day, because the fact of the matter is because I was blonde and have blue eyes, I was targeted, by the men. And it didn't, if I wasn't with my husband, I would be groped, or I don't know how you would, just sexually harassed constantly.
Well, look at Laura. What was her name? From CBS.
Oh yeah.
That was raped in Tahrir Square.
Yes.
I mean,
I've heard it. There's stories like that all the time over there, in their papers. They put that stuff in the papers, and so you saw stuff like that. There was sometimes you saw Western women that had been raped. They were followed into stores and raped in a bathroom or whatever, and it's pretty scary. But the thing is I was pretty much a prisoner for 2 years. I drove maybe 5 times in 2 years. The rest of the time I
safe
stayed
streets
home.
over there then, huh?
The streets
I'm kidding.
are horrible.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
All right, Brenda,
Well, you don't walk. You don't walk out. You don't walk in public either without, your husband. So,
Brenda, as somebody who has lived there firsthand, you know what everybody else in their gut knows already. You're lying to yourself. It doesn't make sense that the homosexual coalition doesn't get together and say, we stand against the Middle Eastern countries like this. It doesn't make sense that the women's organizations, the human rights organizations, you answer these questions. Are you serving openly gay in any military in the Middle East except for Israel? Or how about a woman? Are you driving a car in any place in the Middle East except for Israel? Are you allowed to, leave your religion and not be beheaded anywhere but Israel? No. It's a lie. It's all a lie. And the left has sold their soul to the devil because they hate the Western way of life so much that they will get into bed with anyone thinking that they'll be able to control it in the end. And they're sadly mistaken.
George Washington, he fought and fought and fought and fought. And when it was falling apart and they needed the Constitution, they came riding to his front door. And they said, "General, we will not survive. It's falling apart. We need you at the Constitutional Convention." His response was, "Have I not yet done enough for my country?" He closed the door. He reflected, mounted his horse, and gave yet another part of his life because it was the right thing to do. So what did these great people give their lives for? They gave it for the American experiment. And that's what this is, an experiment. It's not just a country, it's an idea that man can rule himself. That's the American experiment. Do we, Americans that live today, surrounded by giants who gave it all, do we today say the experiment cannot work? Man must be ruled by someone. It does not end here. It shall not end now. It shall not end in my generation, in your generation. It is up to us.